tripped over themselves on the exit of 2.
Bottas and George Russell.
Multi-21, sir. Yeah, multi-21.
Formula One may be the pinnacle of motorsport, but it's also a pressure cooker where egos and emotions run hot. In the modern era, 2000 onward, we've seen some truly shocking moments of disrespect, from blatant team order betrayals to on-track clashes and off-track insults. Buckle up as we count down the most disrespectful F1 moments of all time. And yes, we'll name names. 10. Suck my balls. Magnussen versus Hülkenberg, Hungary 2017. In a sport known for polished PR, Kevin Magnussen served up a raw mic drop moment at the 2017 Hungarian Grand Prix. After a tussle in which Magnussen shoved Nico Hülkenberg's Renault off track, Hülkenberg confronted him during a live interview, calling Kevin the most unsporting driver of the race. Magnussen's now infamous response? Suck my balls, mate. The blunt retort, delivered with a cheeky grin, left the interviewer and fans worldwide stunned. Hülkenberg, momentarily speechless, simply walked away. The FIA penalized Magnussen for the on-track squeeze, but it's his off-track one-liner that stole the headlines.
Again, most unsportive driver of the
Suck
grid.
my balls, mate.
Yeah, you're really good, man. Keep going.
It was a hilariously vulgar display of disrespect, proving that sometimes F1 rivalries don't end at the checkered flag. 9. Alonso blocks Hamilton in the pit, Hungary 2007. Team McLaren's internal rivalry boiled over dramatically during qualifying at the 2007 Hungarian Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso and rookie teammate Lewis Hamilton were at odds, and Alonso took matters into his own hands, literally parking himself in the pit box to delay Hamilton's final run. As Hamilton sat waiting behind, Alonso coolly waited 10 extra seconds before leaving, causing Hamilton to miss his last flying lap.
To let Alonso out. Yep, they want him out of there. Now Alonso's not getting on with it. Only a minute and 4.
Alonso did snatch pole, but stewards saw through the ploy. They stripped Alonso of pole and relegated him 5 grid places, handing P1 back to Hamilton. The team also got a constructor's points penalty for the fiasco. It was a cold, calculated snub. Alonso blatantly prioritized sabotaging Lewis over teamwork. In the press conference, a tense Alonso avoided specifics, while Hamilton fumed. This incident marked a new low in a feud that had already divided the garage, and it showed a level of intra-team disrespect F1 hadn't seen in years. 8. Schumacher shoves Barrichello toward the wall, Hungary 2010. Even 7 world titles didn't excuse Michael Schumacher's shocking move on former teammate Rubens Barrichello at the 2010 Hungarian GP. Battling for 10th place on lap 66, Schumacher aggressively squeezed Barrichello's Williams against the pit wall at approximately 180 miles per hour, inches from disaster. Barrichello barely squeaked through, calling horrible, "That should be a black flag," on the radio. After the race, an incensed Rubens blasted Michael's swerve as the most dangerous maneuver he had ever known, and said talking to Schumi would be pointless since he will always feel that he is right. The stewards agreed it was way over the line, slapping Schumacher with a 10-place grid penalty for the next race. Many felt he got off lightly for such a life-threatening squeeze. This ruthless flashback to the win-at-all-costs Schumacher of old was widely condemned as an act of gross disrespect toward a fellow driver's safety. 7th, Verstappen shoves Ocon. After a collision, Brazil 2018, Max Verstappen confronts Esteban Ocon after the 2018 Brazilian Grand Prix. An on-track collision turned into a post-race shoving match. Winning a race is hard enough without backmarkers crashing into you. In Brazil 2018, Max Verstappen learned this the hard way when Esteban Ocon, a lapped car, tried to unlap himself and collided with race-leading Max, sending the Red Bull spinning.
What an idiot!
Verstappen ultimately lost a sure victory and was livid. After the race, Max hunted down Ocon in the FIA weighing area and unleashed a physical confrontation, shoving Ocon repeatedly in the chest while berating him. It took officials to separate them. Ocon's smile of disbelief only fueled Max's fury. The stewards reviewed CCTV and declared Verstappen had started an altercation and pushed or hit Ocon forcefully several times. The verdict? Max was ordered to perform 2 days of public service for bringing the sport into disrepute. Verstappen, however, was unrepentant, calling his actions a normal reaction when a win gets taken from you by an errant rival. The incident painted a vivid picture. In the heat of competition, even top drivers can literally come to blows. Sportsmanship be damned. 6. Rosberg proves a point by hitting Hamilton. Spa 2014. The Mercedes Civil War of 2014 hit its peak at Spa. On the second lap in Belgium, championship leader Nico Rosberg attempted a dicey pass on teammate Lewis Hamilton into Les Combes. The result was disastrous. Rosberg's front wing clipped Hamilton's rear tire, causing a puncture that ruined Lewis's race.
The grip that Rosberg has got.
Hamilton would later reveal Rosberg said he did it on purpose to prove a point in the team's post-race meeting. Nico was booed by fans on the podium and harshly criticized by team bosses for refusing to apologize initially. The clash cost Mercedes a probable 1-2 and nearly detonated their partnership. Rosberg defended himself publicly. "I gave it a go, I didn't see any risk in trying." But to Hamilton and many observers, it was a blatant act of disrespect, a teammate putting his own agenda above the team's result, even if it meant deliberate contact. Mercedes issued stern warnings, and Rosberg later apologized amid the backlash. The incident confirmed that the animosity between the two had spiraled into open disrespect, with Rosberg willing to risk a collision to assert himself. 5. Multi-21. Seb. Vettel defies team orders. Malaysia 2013. Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel on the 2013 Malaysian GP podium. Webber visibly seething after Vettel's betrayal. When a team gives a clear order, ignoring it is bad enough, but doing so to steal a win from your teammate takes it to another level. In the 2013 Malaysian Grand Prix, Red Bull's code phrase multi-21 was issued, meaning car number 2 should remain ahead of car number 1. Mark Webber, car 2, turned down his engine expecting his teammate Sebastian Vettel would hold position. Instead, Vettel flagrantly disobeyed the team order, pushing past Webber in a risky wheel-to-wheel duel to grab the victory.
Sebastian.
I was really scared. Thanks.
On the cool-down lap and podium, Webber was furious, delivering a withering multi-21 Seb? Yeah, multi-21 confrontation. Vettel offered a half-hearted apology initially, but later shrugged, "I'm not sorry," saying he'd do it again. The incident caused uproar within the team and among fans, casting Vettel as the selfish villain. It also left Webber feeling deeply disrespected. "After all the times I helped him, he just goes and does that," he lamented. Red Bull management publicly condemned Vettel's action as disobedience on a whole new level, but Vettel faced no real punishment beyond Webber's lasting bitterness. Multi-21 has since become synonymous with betrayal, a reigning world champion openly prioritizing himself over his team's instructions and his teammates' trust. 4. Road rage under safety car, Vettel rams Hamilton, Baku 2017. The 2017 Azerbaijan GP brought us a jaw-dropping display of temper. Under safety car conditions, title rivals Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel were running first and second. Believing Hamilton had brake tested him, data later showed Lewis hadn't. An irate Vettel pulled alongside the Mercedes and swerved into Hamilton's car.
Oh, he went into him.
Wait, he brake tested me. What the is going on?
Wheel-banging him in anger. It was an audacious act of road rage at approximately 50 miles per hour in front of the entire field. "He hit me," Hamilton exclaimed over the radio, incredulous. Vettel was immediately penalized with a 10-second stop-go penalty for dangerous driving, yet still finished ahead of Hamilton due to an unrelated issue on Lewis's car. The post-race fallout was immense. Hamilton called Vettel's behavior disgusting and unsportsmanlike, saying the lenient penalty isn't enough for behavior like that. Vettel initially refused to fully apologize, insisting Hamilton had provoked him. But amid worldwide criticism and even an FIA investigation, Vettel eventually issued a public apology and admitted regret for the infamous Baku clash. For a four-time champion to lose his cool and deliberately hit a rival was almost unheard of, a blatant show of disrespect toward an opponent and the rules. The incident remains one of F1's most dramatic illustrations of red mist. A momentary fury leading to an act that shocked fans and reportedly left Vettel with the worst feeling of his career that season. 3rd, Schumacher parks his Ferrari at Rascasse, Monaco 2006. When you hear the words Schumacher and controversy, you know it's big. In Monaco 2006 qualifying, Michael Schumacher reminded the world of his win-at-all-cost mentality by literally parking his Ferrari on track to spoil his rivals' laps. With pole position provisional, Schumacher got it wrong at Rascasse, stopped his car and blocked the track. Conveniently bringing out yellow flags right as title rival Fernando Alonso was set to beat his time. The incident looked highly suspicious and outrage erupted in the pit lane. Renault staff gave Schumacher a thumbs down as he walked by. Other drivers and pundits openly accused Michael of cheating. After deliberation, stewards concluded Schumacher had indeed deliberately impeded the session, essentially calling it an unsportsmanlike act, and they nullified all his times, sending him to the back of the grid. Alonso was promoted to pole and went on to win. Schumacher maintained it was an innocent mistake, but hardly anyone bought it. The press skewered him with headlines like supervillain and cheat. Even decades later, Crashgate is cited as one of the most brazen acts of gamesmanship in F1. It was a champion's reputation hitting a low point. Michael was willing to disrespect not just a rival, but the integrity of qualifying itself, all in pursuit of pole position. Second, Ferrari's team orders farce, Austria 2002. Michael Schumacher left, and Rubens Barrichello during the infamously awkward 2002 Austrian GP podium ceremony. Few moments in F1 have caused as much outrage as Ferrari's handling of the 2002 Austrian Grand Prix. Rubens Barrichello had outpaced his superstar teammate Michael Schumacher all weekend and led almost the entire race. Yet in the final meters, Ferrari ordered Rubens to slow down and let Schumacher pass for the win. Barrichello, after initial resistance, reluctantly complied at the last corner.
Monaco comes through. He's not going to let Michael through, is he? No, they're going to... Yes, he is! No! I do not believe it!
Handing Schumacher a hollow victory by 0.2 seconds. Fans reacted with immediate fury. The crowd booed loudly, feeling cheated of a fair finish. The podium ceremony then turned into an uncomfortable farce. A shamefaced Schumacher tried to shove Barrichello onto the top step, and even gave Rubens the winner's trophy in a clumsy attempt to quell the backlash. The FIA was not amused. They fined Ferrari $1 million for breaking podium protocol, though notably not for the order itself. Such was the public condemnation that team orders were officially banned the following season. Schumacher, already a polarizing figure, faced intense criticism for acquiescing to a win many felt he didn't deserve. The phrase Austria 2002 became synonymous with unsporting manipulation. Although team orders returned to F1 later, none have ever felt as blatantly disrespectful to the sport's spirit as this moment. Ferrari prioritizing one driver's stats over basic racing fairness, and doing it in the most egregious way in front of a global audience. Honorable mention: Ferrari repeated team orders in Germany in 2010 with the notorious coded message, "Fernando is faster than you," forcing Felipe Massa to yield to Alonso. That reignited outrage and a hefty fine, but it still couldn't top the sheer indignity of Austria 2002. 1. Crashgate, Renault's deliberate crash scandal. Singapore 2008. This one transcended disrespect. It was outright fraud. At the inaugural 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, Renault orchestrated one of the most shocking stunts in F1 history. Under massive pressure for results, team boss Flavio Briatore and engineering chief Pat Simons ordered driver Nelson Piquet Jr. to deliberately crash his car, with the sinister aim of helping teammate Fernando Alonso win. On lap 15, Piquet dutifully spun into the wall.
The pit lane is not open until the safety car tells it it's okay to. That's what happened with Piquet anyway.
Bringing out a safety car at the perfect moment for Alonso, who had just pitted, to inherit the lead and eventually win the race. At the time, the crash was written off as a rookie mistake. It wasn't until a year later, after Piquet was dropped from the team, that he blew the whistle on the scheme, igniting the Crashgate scandal. The revelation sent shockwaves through the sport. This wasn't just disrespecting a competitor, it was endangering fans and drivers and undermining the integrity of the competition at the highest level. The FIA launched an investigation and came down like a ton of bricks. Briatore was banned from F1, initially indefinitely, and Simons for 5 years. Renault received a suspended disqualification from the championship. Alonso, who insisted he had no knowledge of the plot, kept his win, but the victory was forever tainted. Crashgate remains arguably F1's darkest chapter of the 21st century. As one report put it, Nelson Piquet Jr. deliberately crashed to give Alonso an advantage, a phrase that still makes fans' blood boil. It was an act of blatant disrespect toward the sport itself, and a stark reminder that even in a field of massive egos, winning by such nefarious means crosses an inviolable line. These moments shocked and enraged in their time, living on in infamy as cautionary tales. Whether it's a driver disrespecting a teammate, a rival, or the entire F1 community, each of these incidents prove that in a high-stakes, high-speed sport, professionalism can sometimes go out the window. Did we miss any jaw-dropping, disrespectful moments? Feel free to debate, after all. Formula One has never been short on drama, and the discussion, much like the bad blood in some of these moments, may never truly die down.